headquarters. This is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. The United Nations was created as a place to settle international conflicts, not inflame them. But last night, Iran's president lashed out at the U.S. and Western governments, and today Venezuela's president, Hugo Chavez, unleashed a tirade, calling President Bush the devil and denouncing the UN itself. It was a belligerent, audacious attack, and in the General Assembly, he was applauded for it. Our chief White House correspondent, Martha Raddatz, reports on the tirade itself and the Bush administration's response.
Hugo Chavez has never made a secret of his disdain for the U.S., but today that disdain was a shout heard round the world, and Chavez took direct aim at President Bush, calling him a devil.
And the devil came here yesterday. Yesterday, the devil came here. Right here. And it smells of sulfur still today.
The leftist leader referred to President Bush as the spokesman for imperialism, who is trying to, quote, exploit and pillage the people of the world.
I have the feeling, dear world dictator, that you are going to live the rest of your days as a nightmare, because the rest of us are standing up. All those of us who are rising up against American imperialism.
The speech was greeted with what observers described as tentative laughter and some applause. The U.S. ambassador, however, was not amused.
We're not going to address that sort of comic strip approach to international affairs. And as I say, the real issue here is he knows he can exercise freedom of speech on that podium, and as I say, he could exercise it in Central Park too, but given the same freedom to the people of Venezuela.
Chavez has significant resources behind him. His country is the fifth largest exporter of oil. He has also become something of a spokesperson for bad-mouthing the U.S., following in the footsteps of his friend Fidel Castro of Cuba. In fact, Castro may have been Chavez's role model for his UN appearance. It was 46 years ago that Castro stood before the UN and called then presidential candidate John Kennedy, quote, an illiterate and ignorant millionaire.
Chavez did make one reference to his country's oil wealth today, a threat maybe. He said if the U.S. invaded Iran or Venezuela, oil would go up to $200. He said any conflict that may appear would raise the price even more, Charlie.
Martha, I'm curious. You showed us the reaction of the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Ambassador Bolton, but did other countries have comment?
We could find no reaction from any other country, neither support nor any outbursts about what Chavez said today in the United Nations. Now, here at the White House, they said basically they thought it was a joke, they thought it would pass by tomorrow, but they couldn't have liked hearing the United States made fun of like that, and they said just that.
All right, Martha.